on this computer. Well, welcome everyone to this special edition webinar for the phenomenal global women. Welcome to everyone that is live on the webinar today, and welcome to everyone that is listening to it over and over again to the recording. And that's why I have it recorded, so you can listen to it over and over again, because we might drop some nuggets where you go, oh my gosh, I need to listen to this again. You know, Charlotte and I were just chatting about how children and even adults are, when it comes to art and when it comes to many other things, we are, by our teachers, by our religious leaders, by our parents, are brought into a box or into lines. And she, as an artist, says, you know, but what if I don't want to color in the lines? And what if the tree doesn't look like a tree to you? It looks like a tree to me. And it's you know, it's such an overused phrase, but I'm going to say it anyway. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it's really much more than that. My sister being an incredible artist herself, and she works on large statues and sculptures out of stone. And the whole learning around it is just so incredible, and the creative part around it is so deep that we as, and I'm going to say me as non-artist, or at least not artist in that kind of sense, find it fascinating of what you create and what we all create. So if we're not friends on Facebook yet, please, Charlotte and everyone else, friend me on Facebook, Brigitta Hoeferle. My name is there in the little thumbtack. It's the only Brigitta Hoeferle out there. So literally, I'm the only Brigitta Hoeferle that I found in the world. But you know, I was at the Women for Global Change luncheon today. Shelley Hunt's Women for Global Change here in Atlanta. And it was just a wonderful getting together and plugging into another phenomenal group of women and men, just like we had at the Phenomenal Global Women. There were some pretty fierce men out there, and I applaud them for being there and really showing up. But it's all about you stepping out. It's all about you understanding what is outside the norm, what else is out there. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to be very mindful with your time. This is a little nugget that I'm giving to you because I got to like a lot of you, and we didn't have a whole lot of time to chat. So I want to start with you and I didn't wear these glasses on stage because I'm really good when it comes to, hello, welcome everyone. I'm really good when it comes to farsightedness. When it comes to, you know, right here, I don't know, my eyes have just, probably a lot of women can relate. The last few years, my eyes have just gotten a little worse, if you will. But that's okay. I like my glasses, and I'm going to utilize them today so I can read this. And I want to share with you our mission, because I'm talking about bank code today. And Kathleen and everyone else that is on the line for our webinar, I'd love to see your lovely faces. I love to connect with you, and that's why I love Zoom, because I can see you, I can interact with you. I'm going to start with our vision of bank code, our spiritual vision to be exact, because we are purpose-driven. Our vision is to change the world by creating one world, one language. We live in a world with 7+ billion people and 6,500 and some languages. And there is only one language that connects the entire human race together, and that is the one language of all people. That is our spiritual vision. If we can all speak across the globe one language where we can understand each other, wow, wouldn't that make a difference? Let's just start with our children. Charlotte and I just talked about, you know, children and how we're being pressed into sometimes a mold. What if we can all speak one language to our children and make a difference in our children's lives, knowing that they're all individual little people that have very valid points of view and great minds. I also want to share our financial vision of bank, because we're also profit-driven. We're purpose-driven, we're profit-driven, and we're people-focused. Financial vision. Our vision is to build a billion-dollar company and substantially increase shareholder value by serving millions of business owners, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals offering them access to our revolutionary tools, training, and technology. And our overall mission is to lead the market with our innovative and industry disruptive products and services, empowering our clients to take it to the bank financially, emotionally, and philanthropically. We will achieve this by cracking more than 100 million bank codes and deploying our game-changing methodology to top corporations, organizations, associations, and foundations worldwide, allowing us to serve millions of professionals and feed more than 1 million hungry people through our global food bank initiatives. This is from a little card that I carry in my purse and my wallet every day, and I read it, and I'm grateful that we have put this code of honor and this mission together. And we actually just put this together a few weeks ago after I reread the book by Blair Singer, Code of Honor. If you haven't read it, it's an incredible book. Put your own code of honor together. And you know what? I can jump down 1 million rabbit holes with you because I have so much to talk about, and I could talk about Code of Honor for 5 hours, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. So all of you, many of you have seen me on that Sunday evening at the Phenomenal Global Women Show, and special thanks here to Mirella. I mean, she's just an incredible woman with a great, great mission, and I love to be surrounded by phenomenal women that have an incredible mission. Just to give you a quick background, you might remember, you might not. I came to the United States in 2013, had a little toddler in one hand. She was 16 months at the time. Had my husband on the other hand. We're kind of hooked in. And we immigrated to the United States from Germany with a business plan in our back pocket. My husband was a journalist at the time. I had the vision and the mission to build a Montessori school, and that's what I did. We started out, I became a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Started out with 3 children in January 2005 after we moved in April of 2004. And I mean, I hit the ground running. And fast forward 13 years, we have a little bit under 75 students that are enrolled. Our enrollment is capped. We are full. We go through 5th grade. We start at 3 months, and I sold the school to 70% last year in May because I realized that I have done an incredible job serving on the board of the Chamber of Commerce in our community and really making a difference when it comes to education in our community, that I'm going from local to more global. My drive, my tenacity, my passion, my purpose is needed around the world. And that's when we decided to move to Atlanta. I was a lead coach at the time for the largest self-development company in the world, Success Resources. Back then it was Peak Potentials and New Peaks. And from there forth, I created my own business. Again, you've done it once, you can do it over and over and over again. And I found Sherry Tree, who's the founder of the methodology of BANK, B-A-N-K, and I'm going to go through that, what that really means here in a second. And we locked arms and said, let's build a $1 billion company. And that's what we did. So here we are. I'm going to talk about BANK today, and BANK is an incredible methodology. And it goes back, there are a few aspects to BANK. There's a secret around it that I'm going to reveal. There's a science behind it, and there's a system to it. And all of those 3, the system, the science, and the secret, are plugging into your success so you can supercharge your success. So what does BANK stand for? Well, first of all, let me go through. BANK is scientifically based on Hippocrates. How many of you know Hippocrates? You know, father of medicine, as old as the days, 2,500 and some years old, right? And he put humanity, with his study on medicine, put humanity in 4 personality types. And that's what the methodology of BANK is plugged into. So it's not something completely new. It's based on that science. However, what we made out of it with the methodology is something that will blow your mind. Actually, San Francisco State University saw BANK a few years ago and said, Well, it sure looks like DISC or Myers-Briggs or any of the other personality type assessments. Let's look at it and see if you've not just taken that mind or that genius of Myers-Briggs, DISC or whatever, and put a new name on it. So let us do an independent study on this. So actually, let me get this here real quick because I have it right here. So San Francisco State University put an independent study together, and not that they just say that this is unheard of, it's completely new, it's very original, and that bank can actually crack a personality code within 90 seconds and define buying behavior of a person within 90 seconds. And you can also increase your sales up to 300% with bank. Now, those are two bold statements. To crack someone's personality code within 90 seconds, if any of you have done DISC, and I have, it takes much longer than 90 seconds just to do the assessment and then to really understand it. Decades later, I'm still trying to understand my DISC assessment, and I haven't completely gotten it yet. Not dissing it, and not saying that it's not valid. It's a great tool. However, the white paper does say you can predict buying behavior within 90 seconds, and you can increase your sales up to 300%. I talked to a young lady the other day in our community, in our new community here in Atlanta, and she says, yeah, but I'm just not interested in sales. Now, I've been working with her on her nonprofit and trying to get sponsors and the media for her nonprofit. And I said, well, let me break it to you, honey. You are in sales. We're all in sales. As a parent, you're in sales because you're selling an idea to your kid that the room needs to be cleaned up, or the bathroom needs to be cleaned up, or towels need to be washed. You're selling to your spouse all day long. You're selling to your team an idea that you have, or a persuasion that you have that something needs to be changed. That's all sales. I hate to tell it and break it to you. And, I hear over and over again, having spoken on many stages around the world, women are just not good salespeople. Excuse me? I beg to differ, because all day long, that's nothing else what we do. We might not get paid for it as much as you do, dear men. Right? So I know I'm reading Charlotte's words, and Kathleen, I'm pretty sure I could read your lips as well if I would see your face, and everyone else that's watching, and get a great big hallelujah and amen for that, because it's time that we change that. It's time that women can stand on large stages like Robert Kiyosaki and Tony Robbins, that we're going to take over, and that we can sell, and that we can make and even exceed making as much as men do. And that is one of my personal purposes in life. When my father, when I was a little girl, he said, girl, you don't even know how big of a tool you're going to be when you grow up. My daddy was a missionary. He passed away 4 years ago. And yet I know that he's watching over me every day, all day long. Going back to bank. So what does bank stand for? Bank is an acronym. It stands for B as in blueprint, A as in action, N as in nurturer, and K as in knowledge. And they go back to values. And I'm going to read these values to you. So blueprint values, and you probably find yourself dominantly in one of those colors, and yet you might say I'm all four. Both is correct, and we're going to go through that here in a second. The values of a blueprint are stability, structure, systems, planning, processes, predictability, responsibility, duty, rules, credentials, titles, and tradition. Some of you have bought these cards at the Phenomenal Global Women Show. Values. There you are. Values. The values of the action is freedom, flexibility, spontaneity, action, opportunity, excitement, attention, stimulation, competition, winning, fun, and image. Values of a nurturer: relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, involvement, community, charity, ethics, harmony, morality, and contribution. And the values of a knowledge: learning, intelligence, logic, self-mastery, technology, research and development, science, universal truths, expertise, competence, accuracy, and the big picture. Now, when I first saw this, and Sherry actually handed them to me, Sherry Tree, some of you have known her or know her, go find her on Facebook and friend her as well. Say, I'm a friend of Brigitta, and I saw either you or Brigitta at one of the Phenomenal Global Women show. When she first gave these to me, she says, hey, Brigitta, do me a favor, and you probably saw me doing this on stage as well. Do me a favor, would you read the values on the back? And so I can serve you better. So I sort them by the one that relates most to you to the one that relates least to you and the ones in between. And that will help me to serve you better, and it will cut a lot of time so you and I can get to the bottom line. Cool, I said. All right, let me read them real quick. So I read the values, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely action first. Oh yeah, and I'm in high nurture as well. I'm like, yep, blueprint. When I'm in my business mode, my blueprint really comes out. And then I read the knowledge card, and I was like, I don't need that. So I basically came back as a action, nurture, blueprint, and knowledge. Now we're all 4. That's a given. But we always, whatever card is the most dominant card, that's the language that we speak. Now, if I'm a high action, I'm also a very high nurturer. So I will always take great care of you, but sometimes I might just bulldoze over you. And I don't mean any bad. That's just who I am. However, that's not what these cards are. These cards are not for me to explain to you who I am. These cards is for me to find out from you who you are, so I can serve you better, so I can understand you better. And when I understand that you, Kathleen, and I'm just making this up, that you, Kathleen, are a knowledge first, and here's a fun fact, what turns a knowledge on turns an action off. What turns an action on turns a knowledge off. Those are some of the things that you will learn within our virtual training, our home study course. So if I know Kathleen is a knowledge and I know that my dominant code is an action, guess what? I better know how to communicate to a knowledge, because if we're doing some sort of conversation where there's a deal made in some way that I want to persuade you, or that I want to influence you, and these are all positive words, where I want to get my point across to you, if I do not use your language, but I will use my language, I lost. The deal just went out the door. If parents are asking themselves, why is my child not responding to me? Well, probably because the parent is one code and the child is another, and they're just speaking, mom speaking here, child speaking here, and you kind of just miss the boat 99% of the time. So it's really understanding, who are you talking to, A, and B, how do I listen for what your need is, and C, how do I say it back? How do I know what turns a blueprint on? How do I know, as a high nurturer, what turns a blueprint on and what drives that person? And those are the things that I teach. Those are the things that Sherry teaches. We have an incredible virtual training course where we teach how you, A, listen to what really matters to you, as whatever, let's go with the knowledge again. What matters to you as a knowledge person? How do I listen for that? What are the words that you're using? What are the values that you have? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What turns you on? What turns you off? What really turns you off? Because if I use something as a high action to a knowledge and I choose the wrong words, or I just say, you know what, ready, fire, aim, I don't care, you don't need all the nitty-gritty details, I'm not going to give them to you, just sign right here. As a knowledge, you're going to say, that's not how it works, I'm out, ciao, see ya, deal done. So I got to know all of the details. I got to know all of the insights. I got to know everything that really matters to a knowledge, and to a blueprint, and to an action, and, oh, and I just dropped it, and to a nurturer. Let me get my nurturer card, and to a nurturer. So it's really up to you to learn and to dig deeper into the likes and the dislikes and how each of the personality types tick. I also, let me just do it this way. Sometimes I use my glasses. If I just started to learn about all these personality types, and I'm a high action, just to get me into the blue zone, into the blueprint zone, I put in my blueprint glasses and I see everything. And I remember being the blueprint anchored into what the blueprint person needs and likes and drives. I can go into that blueprint zone, or I can go into the knowledge zone. Many of you have probably already seen, this is the little secret. This is a cryptex. And in order for me to crack someone's code, it's like in the Da Vinci Code, cracking the cryptex. What happens if I choose the wrong code? There's a little vinegar solution that is going to be destroying the inside, the roll, the Holy Grail, and I will never get to the Holy Grail because I have one chance and one chance only with the person that I talk to and do business with. If it's a family member, they might give you a second chance, but usually it's one chance. So most of you that have bought these cards, when we met each other in LA, you're wondering, well, how do I really use them? And what I just shared with you is exactly how you use them. So today, when I went to the luncheon, to the Women of Global Change luncheon, people ask me, so what is it that you do, Brigitta? Well, I pull out my card and say, rather than me explaining what I do, why don't you do me a favor and read the values on these cards and put them in order that they relate most to least to you? And they're like, oh, this is cool. And then people are coming around going, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm cracking my code. Let me show you. Because what do we all like to do? We like to talk about ourselves the most. And that's the biggest interest. We like to find out, who are we? What drives me? But then it really is about, once that I know who am I'm a high action. Now, what really drives the person that I'm dealing with? If you're opening an art school, if you're opening a Montessori school, if you're dealing in a hospital, if you're in if you are in sales, how do you crack someone's code in a very simple and quick way and know how to talk to them? These cards, I actually have a URL, and it's called the Bank Pass, and you can purchase the Bank Pass as well, which are these cards only in a digital form as a URL, okay? And you can send the Bank Pass to anyone that you desire. I have mine on my Facebook page. I have mine in my signature on my email. Every time I work with a client, I send my Bank Pass first and say, hey, will you crack your code real quick? It's very systemized. It's already done. All you need to do is send the Bank Pass, and then they can actually maneuver the cards around. And then you're going to, once they hit send, you're going to get a report saying, hey, Kathleen just cracked her code via your Bank Pass. And it says exactly a 16-page report of how to communicate with Kathleen. What turns Kathleen on? What turns Kathleen off? What is her likes? What are her dislikes? What are the words that you speak her language, and what are the words that you completely, if you want to go that far, piss her off with the language. So you get an email with a report saying, this is how you communicate with Kathleen. Kathleen gets an email and says, hey, Kathleen, thanks for cracking your code, and this is what it means. And it gives Kathleen or Charlotte, whoever cracks their code, a step-by-step, this is who you are, these are your likes, these are your dislikes, this is what you cherish, this is what you value. So that's the Bank Pass, and that is something that I do with all of my clients, with everyone that I come in touch with. And it's a great, great tool. And sometimes I just share my report with them to show them, what comes out on my side. For people that want to dig deeper into the personality types, you can do a virtual training, which is like a home study course, only it's not a home study course. Come on, we've all seen the home study courses. You let them run through the night, and then the next day you get a certificate and you're kind of all done and you're an expert in that. That's not how, right? We've all seen them. We probably all did them too. This home study course it's built on a platform called VT, virtual training, and it's called Virtual Training Lightspeed. And the Virtual Training Lightspeed is a very interactive. So Sherry has spent days and weeks in the studio of doing every little segment on each action and blueprint and nurture and knowledge. And there's, in the virtual training platinum, there are over 80 hours of learning, and it really goes deeper into each of the personality types, and you can learn a ton. When I first started just learning about the bank code, I went through the virtual training religiously, and it was fun. Sometimes it brought me back to the beginning because it said, well, Brigitta, in your test at the end of each session, and there are 4 sessions, at the end of each session, you have a test. And if you do not go beyond 75% in that test, you're going to go back to the beginning because there's something that you missed. And we want you to get as much as you can out of it. So that's the virtual training. And then, becoming an affiliate, sharing this with others of how incredible this is and what a difference it can make in our schools. And again, me building a school, that's my number one passion. Children, having great communication with parents, from administration to parents, from administration to teachers, from teachers to children, from teachers to parents, you name it. What kind of difference could we make? Imagine what this can do in healthcare. Imagine what this can do in senior homes, in assisted living homes, understanding who are we talking to and how can I adapt my communication so the other person actually understands me. So there are many, many avenues. Become an affiliate is a great tool for you to make some money if you want with that. DISC doesn't offer that. Unfortunately, we do. Becoming a trainer and doing something like I do, that's another avenue. If any of that resonates with you, I would say definitely get back in touch with me. You can find me on Facebook. Brigitta Hoeferle is my name. That's it. You can email me, brigitta@hoeferle.com. Really simple. BRIGITTA @HOEF as in Frank, ERLE.com. Brigitta@hoeferle.com. That's my email. Pretty straightforward. You can go to my website, brigittahoeferle.com. Boom. Again, Brigitta Hoeferle. So you'll find me somewhere. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on all social media. Get in touch with me. Send me smoke signs, whatever you want to do. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to help you. I know that together we can make a huge, huge difference by having great communication. If you are in any sort in NLP, that is another training that I do and I love and I've done for many, many years as well. And imagine if you can communicate on an NLP level and you can communicate on a bank level, oh my gosh, now you're a grandmaster of influence. And that's what we are. That's what women are. That's what we're given. That's part of our purpose and passion in life. So I want to thank you. I want to open up for some questions that we might have. You're welcome to chat in the chat box. There's a chat box at the very bottom. It's got like a little bubble, and you can chat in it if you press on it. Or you can just unmute yourself and ask questions like that. Either way, I'm here to answer any questions that you have. And of course, for everyone that is listening to the recording and you have a question, find me on Facebook, send me a question on Facebook or via email. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. So we have no questions?
Hi, Brigitta.
Yes.
Hello? Brigitta, yes. Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Hi. I'm sorry, my camera doesn't work, so that's why there is no beautiful picture to go with my voice. But this has been very, very interesting. And so I guess in order to learn more about I'm not clear about the report and stuff like that. So in order to get access to that, we have to sign up for the bank pass, did you say?
Bank pass. That's the bank pass. That's basically the 4 cards online. And you can send out.
Okay, because I. Mm-hmm. No, I was just saying because I don't have the cards in front of me, but Charlotte bought the cards for me. Hi, Charlotte. And so I'm still unclear in terms of how to utilize these cards. I need obviously more information, right? So there's additional training that I need to have.
Yes.
To be able to use the cards.
Yeah.
Really effectively. I mean.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Go ahead.
Exactly. Because I just basically, in a half an hour, I didn't even scratch the surface. I just gave you the preliminary of the preliminaries. That's what I did, and that's what this half an hour was for. But why don't you, and if Charlotte is interested in, whoever else is interested in it, get on a second call, and I will answer any questions that you have. Just shoot me a quick email, or I'll give you my telephone number, and this is for everyone. This is my direct line, 423-303-8432. I'm going to say again, 423-303-8432. That is my direct cell phone. Use it. Don't misuse it. But you can you can text me. You can call me if I'm not able to answer the phone right away. I'm probably on a call with a client. Leave me a message, and I will get back with you ASAP. But I'm here to answer questions that you have and lead you in the right directions, whatever it is that you need to, where I can be of service to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
I think that was it. I just want to figure out how to get more. I want to understand them better because you look at them and then it's like, okay, like we all got Charlotte and I got a high nurture. We got nurturers. All of us in our group.
I'm not surprised.
All nurturers.
Yeah,
So,
I read pretty much the room in LA as a high nurturing room.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I guess, yeah. Well, there we are, all supporting each other, right?
Yes, and you know what? And this is also a fun fact. Where women in a lot of places where I've spoken to women, it is a very high nurturing room because that's just who we are. We are nurturers, right? And when I'm in a room in Germany, the room full of women is high blueprint because that's who we are known for as Germans. We're very structured. We're to the T. We're yeah. So I'm a recovering blueprint.
Very nice. I wasn't able to hear your talk. I had to leave to get home to my son, but I wish to hear you today. And I lived in Germany for about 6 months, and
so you know what I'm talking about.
I love German people. I love the culture. I totally know what you're talking about. I lived it. I had a German boyfriend, so yeah.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh.
And there I was, the high nurturer, going around taking care of everybody.
Right, but see, now looking back, you're going, oh my gosh, that's exactly what happened. I was a nurturer and he was a blueprint. Oh my gosh, no wonder, we experienced this, that, and the other.
Right.
From all the little things that you've already heard, it already helped you to understand a few things. And like I said, there's so much more and so much more. It took me months and months, and I almost want to say a year until I fully grasped the full concept. And I went through, level 1, level 2, level 3 training and training the trainer with Sherry and really diving deep into it. It can become complex if you allow it to be, but it's really interesting, great stuff. And if you're into psychology and personality, you're going to eat this up like nothing, like chocolate. Mwah.
And so to do the training, then that information is on your website, right? If we want to do more training. That's
not on my website. That's actually on the bankcodevt.com website. Bankcodevt as in virtualtraining.com. Bankcodevt. Right. And it's going to ask for an access code at one point, The access code is my last name, Hoeferle, Hoeferle. Boy, by the time we're done, you know my first and last name inside and out.
Yes, ma'am.
So access code Hoeferle,
Okay.
that's another, thank you for asking that question. It's a good question. Access code Hoeferle, don't forget that. But yeah, let's the three of us talk, and whoever wants to have a private conversation with me, please do reach out. I'm here for you. I don't bite, not anymore. But do get in touch with me. All right?
All right.
It was a pleasure, ladies. Oh, and if you didn't,
thank you.
Thank you. By the way, if you did miss me at the Phenomenal Women, Global Women show, on my public figure page on Facebook is the video. I did a Facebook Live and did the whole thing, so you're welcome to look at it. It's a 10-minute video.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank
All
you.
right.
So
Thanks,
great.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Good evening. Bye.
All right. Bye.